What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS podcast and live stream recording here for Wednesday's 10-game main slate. James, the biggest slate of the week right here. Last night we had Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, some top guys on there. Here we go again, another slate. LeBron James here on a back-to-back at 11-7. Nikola Jokic is at 11-6 on the back-to-back. Giannis is here at 11-5. JoJo 11-4. Is AD back? Yeah, on track to play today. So Anthony Davis back today at 10-8. Not that we're going to play him right away. Steph Curry at 10-5. Sabonis 10-4. Lillard 10-3. Irving 10-1. I mean, a lot of high-priced guys on this slate. It is 10 games. I am sure we will find some value here, especially Milwaukee's back-to-back track record lately, right? They've been, or not Milwaukee's back-to-back guys, Denver, with guys like Jokic just coming back, and we've seen Murray, though, recently play back-to-backs. He's always up in the air with him as well. So it will be an interesting spot to watch today when it comes to, guys who may be sitting. Vegas, generally a good indicator of that, as we sniffed out Boston yesterday, given the point spread there against Miami. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, Al Horford all sat out. We'll see if there are any fishy lines here today, James.
Maybe Denver being 8-point dogs on the road. I understand Milwaukee is awesome, but Denver has the second best record in the NBA.
Right. So Jokic maybe not playing today.
Is there something going on there? I know, again, like if both teams are full strength, you're telling me that Milwaukee's an 8-point favorite. I don't buy that.
Nope.
So I think that's first and foremost. As you mentioned, Denver is on a back-to-back. Who's on a back-to-back? Indiana, Washington, Denver. The Lakers. Is that it? That's four.
Yeah, that looks like
and the Pelicans.
New Orleans.
And they get Brandon Ingram back tonight.
Yeah, they do.
Well. So, only 9 toes because apparently he lost one. Not really, but it felt like it.
I was going to say, wait, did he really lose a toe?
No, he did not lose a toe. No,
what happened there? Missed that update.
Yeah. So lots of interesting things going on in Vegas, especially with the Denver line. In terms of totals, 237 in OKC Atlanta. OKC only 1-point dog at home. They're 30-16 against the spread this year, by the way.
Yeah, they were really good against the spread last year too. Remember, they were just always covering.
They're also only one game under 500, which is wild to think. They have Chet Holmgren coming back next year. Slate high total, actually 2. Oh my gosh, the late window is kind of. Just play the late slate. 243.5 currently in Golden State, Memphis. Golden State giving 3 to Memphis.
Steven Adams out 3 weeks.
Steven Adams out extended period of time. Return of one James Wiseman for Golden State tonight. I'm sure that moved the line quite a bit. Portland 3.5-point favorites at home against Utah. 237.5. 239 against the third seeded Kings. 3-point favorites at home against the Raptors. And the Lakers are 6-point favorites against the Spurs, 243. I find that interesting. I know LeBron has been playing, and he just looked like
last night was a monster second half for him.
He was just, dude, he is like, I just don't know if anyone can deny him as the best player of all time. I just don't understand how anyone can deny this man anymore. He's 38 years old, coming off 46, 8, and 7. It is.
He had 48, 8, 9, 5 games prior. So
it is just he is absolutely just a different breed of human. That's Vegas, and those are the most interesting totals. Philly favorites. I know Philly. There's a lot of potential injury news we're waiting on. Embiid, Davis is only going to play 20, 24 minutes, but there's some big time ins and outs.
Sure. All right, point guard here. Curry's your top price guard at 10.5. Lillard's at 10.3. Kyrie up over 10K now, going up against Philly. We'll throw Harden in that range too at $9,900. SGA is $98. John Morant's still in that mid 9K range at $9,700, and Trae Young is $94. That's your a 1A, 1B tier of guards in terms of pricing. Where are you looking to focus in on your player pool here?
Curry for tournaments. Dame in a really good spot. I think there's 60-point upside again here. Kyrie is averaging 60 fantasy points over his last 4 games, and he's gone over 60 in 3 straight, including an 80 fantasy point game against Utah, who Dame is facing tonight.
Yeah.
I like Kyrie, and I like Harden against his old friends in Brooklyn. I especially like him, obviously, if there's no Embiid, but
Sure.
I like Harden. I think Kyrie and Lillard are my priorities. SGA is fine. I like it being under 10K.
Okay.
And I think Morant is fine as well. I think there could potentially be some more rebounds to be had without Steven Adams in the lineup.
Yeah, will be interesting to see that front court. They started Xavier Tillman right at center.
Yep.
So
Yep.
not Brandon Clark. Surprising move. Not like moving Jackson to the 5 and Clark to the 4, but we'll see how that rotation all plays out here. Golden State obviously has a different rotation at times with Draymond at the 5, though they didn't.
They've already said they're going to do that moving forward.
Did they? Okay, because they started the second half the other day with Looney on the floor. So,
well, the second game, they had the back-to-back. Are you saying the game versus Boston?
No, yeah,
because the second. Because they started the
Phoenix.
Draymond at center against Boston,
right?
And then the game after, everyone sat,
right. Is that the most recent? Brooklyn, no, against Brooklyn. Yeah, Brooklyn they sat everybody. Against Boston in the second half, they had Looney on the floor.
Interesting, because Steve Kerr announced that Jordan Poole will be starting moving forward. So I
think maybe Boston's size was a problem.
Yeah, that could be the case.
So we'll see how the starting lineup plays out there today. Trey against Atlanta. We've been talking about DeJounte Murray's been playing really well, but I mean 21 and 13 for Trey. Tournament dart. Like you said, Thunder's always covering the spread these days. So, it could be a competitive game. Mid-tier range here in that 8-7K. De'Aaron Fox at 84, still a really good price tag. DeJounte, as I mentioned, at 82. Van Vliet just keeps on producing. Another 40 fantasy points out of him against the Knicks. Love the shot attempts there. He's hitting free throws lately as well. Odd to see just 2 and 3 assists there for a guy that generally gives you 6, 7, 8 assists against in general spots there. So maybe a boost for assists in this matchup. But some good guards in this range here that I don't honestly find myself often getting to, but I don't mind stacking up a couple of them here today.
Yeah, I think the 2 you mentioned are the 2 that I would immediately go to, and Fox and Van Vliet. I like Jordan Poole if he continues to start. He's been scoring the ball really well. If Jamal Murray plays, he's been incredible lately. 41 plus fantasy points in 5 straight games.
Yeah. Minutes are great too.
Minutes are great. Some of this with Jokic, some without. So samples in both instances. You could play Murray. D'Angelo Russell coming off his probably best game of the year, but he's been scoring pretty well lately. 25, 23, 30 points his last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably get there as well. And then I think it'll be interesting. Will Maxey repeat if there's no Embiid?
Right.
That's a question.
I mean, a high volume shooter when given the opportunity to. We saw that during the playoffs, and there was no Harden, right? He was able to just take over. So I like it 65. Simons is always a tournament play, especially against Utah here. He's a guy that can score the basketball. TJ McConnell in the starting lineup plays 40 minutes last night, gives you 45 fantasy points, 20 and 10, 3 boards. We were wondering about the price tag yesterday. He's $100 cheaper today in a better matchup. So probably if he's starting again, McConnell should be in the player pool.
Yeah, I think it was more of a worry because we didn't know the Nembhard status.
Sure.
And we didn't know if McConnell would start with Nembhard back, right? So I think that's same situation. If Nembhard, he was the chalkiest player of the slate.
Yeah.
So if Nembhard's out, he was missed last night. If Nembhard's out again, or if just McConnell's starting, I think we should feel pretty okay.
Yeah.
This guy who's not typically going to be this good. They're without Tyrese Halliburton. They need him to be Tyrese Halliburton, and
he had those really good games off the bench. Knicks, Atlanta, Memphis.
He had 25 actual in the first half against the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think it was 25. He had 25 actual, which is his career high or something.
Yeah, no, he's crazy. So 6K, he's going to be in the player pool, and we're definitely going to be in the player pool. Trey Jones, 6,200. Any interest there? Cash cans maybe.
It's a good spot against the Lakers.
Yep. 5K and under. Who's your value today? They bumped up Conley, so we can't
Yeah, can't play Conley. Well, can't include him here. I mean, Josh Richardson maybe auditioning for spot on the Lakers here. They keep Sexton's minutes just fluctuate day in, day out. I mentioned DeLon Wright on yesterday's podcast has been really good, and he was really good again. Great matchup. The steals he's always been very good in the steals department.
He's averaging 2.2 steals per game this year in 20 minutes. So, I mean, that's
real. That's
just a ridiculous stat, right?
And that's so like the 2+ steals that he's gotten in 4 straight games is like a thing that we can not bank on every night, but he's averaging that on the year. I mean, look, 29, 38, 31, 24 fantasy points. The minutes are obviously just the concern, but it's a great matchup. So I don't think there's actually much down here.
I agree with you.
I think that's really truthfully it.
Yep. I got Jalen Noel down to 3,600, but he's just not scoring right now. But he's still playing like 20 minutes, so I don't know. If you really wanted to get different and needed a punt play, he's a high upside punt play. Shooting guard here, Anthony Edwards at $9,500 was snowflaking for like 90% of the slate.
Horrible, dude. He is just like he does like he has the most insane stretches of fantasy. Ever.
Yeah. He had like 30 fantasy points going into the fourth quarter and comes out of it with 52 and saves a lot of fantasy players. $9,500 here. You went for 42 against them earlier this season. Can be considered in your player pool. If you want, but again, a little pricey on a slate like today for Anthony Edwards. Josh Giddey is at $7,800. We've talked a lot about Giddey of late. Taking away, we think, is the upside of SGA because he's out here doing everything, which is one of the reasons why I loved him going into last year. I thought he's a great fantasy asset. He's great at DFS if he's going to be flirting with triple doubles every night. So $7,800 for him. You've mentioned Poole. Jalen Green was the guy to play. 42 actual against Minnesota, against Washington here. Would you run it back at $7,500 with Jalen Green?
I mean, just look, you just know. You play him in tournaments, and you hope that he has the boom game, and just know that he could have the bust game, right?
I guess the guys all below him are maybe a little bit appealing. I mean, more appealing potentially. Desmond Bane at $7,300. Bradley Beal at $72. Klay Thompson
Do you think
at
Beal
$68.
sits? Do you think Beal sits? He's been back for 3 games back to back.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, what's the spread indicator? Anything here that would lean you one way or the other?
They stink. I don't know. Both teams stink. No, I mean Washington's favorited on the road, so probably Beal plays if that's an indicator. Or Vegas's read is that he plays if Washington's a favorite at home or on the road.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing around 30 minutes a night anyways for the last 3 games. A little bit of foul trouble yesterday, 5 fouls. I don't know. It's a good spot for Beal, right? They don't have Porzingis. No rebounds for him.
It's a good spot. It's a great spot. It's not about if I think he's a bad spot or not. I was just speculating.
Sure. Gary Trent at 67. Is OG out? He's questionable.
He's questionable, yeah.
Still, good spot for Gary Trent at $6,700 there. We always talk up Clarkson in the mid-tier. Buddy Hield again last night. Decent game as long as they're going to have Noah Halliburton, I guess. I don't really know what it is. He's just
reasonable amount of blocks and steals last night, John, for Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
Reasonable amount.
7 total. I mean, but he had 39 fantasy points a game before. So
no, I know. I'm just...
No, I agree. Not going to get you 3 blocks and 4 steals most likely again. That is very accurate here. I have been playing his rebound prop. It's been at 4.5. It's been he's been getting 5 on the dot for 4 of the last 7 games. He's gone over now in 6 of the last 7. So pretty decent for rebound prop potentially here today on Buddy Hield. Ben Mathurin, another really great game out of him. Though I'm so upset. I took over 5.5 free throws. He got fouled with a minute 30 to go, and he fucking went 1 of 2. So upset.
Brutal.
So upset. For a guy that generally hits all of his free throws, for the most part.
82. I'll round up for you, 82.
Yeah, needed one more bucket there, but still. This kid's a bucket. He's an absolute bucket.
He is an absolute bucket.
$5,400 is just, it feels very cheap for him right now. So
they were really popular last night as a team. I could see that being the case again, especially if Nembhard sits.
Yeah. Bruce Brown 52. If you're thinking no Jokic today,
I mean, I'm thinking something. I don't know if it's Jokic.
No Murray. You think they both just sit, right? Like
I don't know. It just Denver's 34-14, and they are 8-point dogs. If they go to Boston full strength, is the spread 8? No. If they go to anywhere in the NBA, the spread is not 8.
Boston was missing half their guys yesterday, and they were only a 3-point dog on the road. So, right? Like, how is Denver an 8-point underdog?
That's what. So what? I mean, they're telling us people are sitting. We don't know who is sitting, but somebody is sitting.
Yeah, so as soon as this podcast is posted, just like yesterday, we will get the update that so and so is now questionable or out or whatever. So we'll get it all there. Kevin Huerter, only 20 minutes because of a blowout, but $5,200. I'm willing to run it back there with him there. I know you're not the biggest Seth Curry guy, but the minutes have been there, over 20 fantasy points now in like 6 straight. Bogdan's under 5K.
I know.
I'll play that against OKC.
Especially if DeAndre Hunter misses again. He's questionable with the illness, and Bogdan started. He's been bad, but like we know, the shooting has kind of been
like he was 6K, and we're like, I'm not playing him at 6K, but at 49, I'll play him at 49.
When his shot is falling, he is like electric.
Double-digit shot attempts. And most of them are 3-pointers, like you said. He's just 2 for 8, 2 for 8, 2 for 5. Mm-hmm. He hits a few more of those, and we're looking at a much different game here. So. Beasley's at 47. I know his minutes go up and down here. A blowout against Charlotte, only played 20, but you can definitely play him, I think, at $4,700 in tournaments there. We talked about Richardson already, Sexton already. I mean, obviously, if people sit Bones Highland at 43, assuming he is active, we would go there as well.
I would. Duarte was in every winning lineup last night.
Joe Harris is 4K. He played 31 minutes against Golden State.
Yeah. Look at the minutes.
I know, 32, 21, 31 though.
Tell me when he's gonna play 30 minutes, and I'll play him. I just don't know. I don't know.
Sure.
Duarte, if
they missed 2 guys yesterday. Was it Nembhard and Nesmith, or just Nembhard?
No, Nesmith played. It was just Nembhard.
Okay.
He played 26 minutes. He was terrible from the floor.
Yeah, 9
but
boards.
He had, but again, reasonable amount of rebounds and assists.
$3,400. Yep. All right. Nobody else here. Shooting guard, small forward.
Your boy Kispert started and played 34 minutes. For what that's worth. 26 fantasy points.
LeBron no longer center eligible here today. Small forward, power forward.
Big AD back, and Hachimura active.
True, there you go. Hachimura active here. LBJ is 11-7. Again, I don't know. Play him. I don't know. It's
best matchup on the board.
Yeah. I guess fine. Yeah.
AD is back. AD 24 minutes. That's obviously something to consider.
Yep, for sure. Mark Annan's at 91. You can play him against Portland. That's fine. Another double for him. Keeps on rolling on. Kuzma against Houston. Really great spot. Is $8,800. The price again is it's good. It's an okay price, right? Like it's a great matchup. It's an okay price.
Yeah, that's how I phrase it as well.
Danny Green expected to make his season debut today. What team is Danny Green on these days? Sacramento?
Wednesday.
Oh, next Wednesday?
He's on.
Oh,
Memphis.
Next Wednesday. Threw me off. What team is he on these days?
Memphis.
There you go. Scotty Barnes, 7,600. I've been playing a lot of Scotty Barnes. I finally have just bit the bullet and I just put him in my lineup. After never getting him right, you and I calling a Scotty Barnes day and being dead wrong, I'm just listen, odds are if I play him every day, he can't suck. So I've just been playing him. I've been betting his over fantasy point prop on Prize Picks. It's usually 33, 34.5, and he's smashing. So I'm just going to keep playing it. Against Sacramento tonight, $7,600. I'm in. Just filling up the stat sheet. You picked the right Keldon day. Go ahead. If you hit it, congrats.
Yeah.
Boncaro down to 7K. I mean, that's a really good price tag for him. Guys was over 8K for a while there.
Yep. Well, the
Isaac
return
back?
of John
Is that
Isaac.
an Isaac
Dude,
impact? Like, what do we...
he was so good.
Small
He only
forward,
played 10
power
minutes,
forward, by the way,
but-
for Jonathan Isaac. He had 1 day as a center. Jonathan Isaac also had 20 fantasy points in 10 minutes.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He is awesome.
He is awesome.
He is awesome.
His
Yeah.
jumper, he was in the gym. Let me tell you, his jumper looked smooth.
Hit 2
in his
threes,
debut.
4 or 7 from the floor, 2 steals.
It just looks. He looks everything that we thought he was going to be. I know I can say that it was just 10 minutes, whatever. He was in the gym, so
they got to get him more playing time.
I think the thing about Orlando going forward is just going to be like they have elected to use like 12 guys every night.
Bol played 17 minutes, so I mean, like
it's going to be a nightmare moving forward. And I think like we saw it a couple games ago, Banchero plays 28 minutes, and the game before 25. Like there's going to be situations where most of the time he's playing 30, but like just brace yourself for that 25-minute game because Orlando has. I mean, if you look at the roster, they have to trade pieces because they have too many like actual NBA big men.
Yeah, I mean they're not. They just drafted Franz in the lottery. They're gonna keep Franz, right? They just drafted Banchero number 1 overall. They're gonna keep Banchero. They traded for Wendell Carter. Bol is expendable. He
Traded
was
for Bol.
Yeah, they bought Bol. They sent cash to Boston, but he's expendable, right? Like.
Yeah.
You know, there's no commitments to him. Chuma Okeke, there's really no commitments, in my opinion, to him.
They took him in the first. Well, they took him in the first round 2 years ago.
Yeah, but it's been a couple of years, right? Like he hasn't exploded. He hasn't shown any reason why he has to be a core player of a team. Isaac, again, we're a little biased, but Isaac to me is a difference-making player, right? Like he's at least from what his skill set can be, right? Like he's so. We'll see. But to that point, Franz is $6,700. I do appreciate Golden State's new rotation because it gave Klay Thompson small forward eligibility. No longer stuck at the shooting guard position. Let's see. We talked about Heald. Toby 62. It's not a bad price.
If Embiid's set, that's fine.
Not a bad price. Harry B at 57. It's a low number for him.
Yeah, Harry B.
The way he's been playing.
Yeah.
Maybe a tough spot.
Yeah, White Bread Harry B is fine. Yeah, I mean it's a tough spot, but he's fine.
Jalen Williams is 54, small forward, power forward, still getting the minutes, but trending down a little bit. Just missing shots. I don't know. What other value small forwards are you looking at here? KJ Martin, I guess. If is KBJ out yet? Do we know?
Yeah, KBJ's out. Yeah. Jabari Smith is questionable.
Okay.
So our boy.
I mean, Tyre Eason the other night. I mean, play Tyre Eason more, please. Yeah.
I think I think this value tier is like cut and dry. You can play the Houston guys if you want. I think they're both fine. You could play Kendrick in tournaments. He's fine.
Denny was chalk last night.
But it's Denny. It's Denny. He's 4K. He didn't start, but he still went for 15 and 10 and 3 steals and 39
15 points, 11 free throw attempts. You know,
and he now is Houston. So if you're in the value tier, you play Denny. You play Duarte if you're not playing him at shooting guard already, and you move forward.
Okay. Any Isaac interest? What if you get you get an announcement? There's a minutes bump.
No, because if he's playing 10 minutes, what is his bump going to be?
15 to 18? I don't know. All right, power forward. Giannis is 11-5. Talked about LBJ already.
I mean, he had 20 actual in the first quarter.
Yeah, 50 fantasy points in 27 minutes against Detroit. So he's that guy.
But he's going to play 30 minutes, but they're 8-point favorites. It makes sense.
Yep. Zion will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Zinger's still out. Kuzma, Towns, no timetable. Portis, is he still out tonight?
Portis is out.
Yep. Knee sprain. Jaren Jackson then. No Steven Adams here, right?
Yep. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to give him center run, like maybe at times, but it does feel Tillman and Brandon Clark center minutes split incoming. But yeah, I mean, Jaren Jackson is just an elite fantasy One block.
Ben Simmons going back into Philly. Second game in Philly this season. First game he went for 48 fantasy points. He 11-7, 11-3, and 3. So $6,500 for Ben Simmons here.
Yep, I'm in.
You're in. Yep, I'm in too. Love the narratives. Big narrative guy. Draymond's been great. Good. It's just not, he's actually even scoring the basketball now. So 11-7 rebounds and assists. 9 points, 11 points, 17, and 8. Again, if he gets you 8 points, this a win, right?
Yeah,
this is a guy that was giving you 0 at points. So Draymond at 63. I like Wiggins at 6K is pretty solid as well. Where else are you looking? What does Orion think?
I don't know. I'm probably skipping over this whole tier.
Okay.
And getting to Keegan Murray at 5K. We mentioned him the other night. He has looked very good lately.
Didn't even need Sabonis out, right? No, Sabonis didn't play. Sabonis didn't play against Memphis. He did play against Memphis.
He did play.
Yeah.
Keegan Murray has just been really good. He's looking more and more like the lottery pick they took. 5K is a little, iffy, but sure. I like him. I like Jeremy Sohan. He's been really good lately.
Worried about the matchup at all, though? No.
LeBron on a back-to-back is.
Anthony Davis is going to be back for 20 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, but 20 minutes, he's going to start at center. I'm going to stop worrying about I like the fact that they could match up with one another is a potential thing. Yeah. Jeremy Sohan, obviously Tari Eason.
Yeah.
If
what did you make of Trey Lyles? Was that just blowout run for him? Guy hit 8 of 11 shots.
Yeah, I mean that's
6 threes. I mean,
we know Trey Lyles is that's just that feels kind of outlierish.
Yeah, I know. Can you play Hachimura not knowing how he's going to work in the rotation? Just a tournament dart maybe, or if we get a word, if he's in the starting line, would he start right away? I mean.
They have a lot to figure out with him. I have no idea. Maybe if you're building multiple lineups, it's something you consider. But I don't think he's gonna make my personal player pool. But I don't know. Maybe right? Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. You got another 20 minutes out of Larry Nance, but that's probably it. Maybe Aldama for a dart throw because they're just gonna need more front court guys.
That's fine.
Okay. Center. You said Hayes started yesterday. Did Hayes end up doing anything?
No, he played 20 minutes.
Okay. Center Jokic here, 11-6 weekend. We don't think he's gonna play because they're 8-point underdogs. So, but he had 25, 11, and 10. He had 20, 8 and 8, I think, at halftime or something like that. So, didn't really do much in the second half of that game, but still 60 fantasy points. It's Jokic. If he's in, play him. Jokic versus Giannis should be a great game to watch if they're all out there playing. So. Go down to Sabonis though at 10-4, triple-double against Memphis there in 30 minutes. Good spot for him against Toronto here.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned it even with the triple-double. I'm sorry, my child is going.
Hey, we can't control
insane.
These things, James. It's okay. 21, 20, and 7 against Toronto earlier this year. So
I think we need the triple-double, or we need the outlier rebound performance for it to work out at over 10K. I don't think I'm gonna get there, but you can. I mean, if there's no Anunoby, they're gonna start Precious, so I think that might help Toronto a little bit, have more size in the front court. So I don't know. I'm probably not gonna get to
all roads lead to Şengün, right? Against Gafford, at 8,700.
Yeah, probably. Probably. The impact of Jalen Green was obviously apparent, I think, offensively, but also the impact of Tari Eason on the glass. 7 rebounds when Şengün's had 12 plus in 3 straight.
I think Gobert being active for that game impacted things too.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's not that Şengün was bad. Şengün wasn't
really
bad
good.
at all.
21,
He was
7,
really
7.
good.
But he was just up against a better center than he's played the last.
Correct. That's true.
Then Gafford or Taj Gibson or whomever they're throwing out there is not that. So not that guy. So I think Şengün, you go right back and fire into the well there with him. It almost feels like there's no real downside to him. We know what the ceiling is, I think at this point, with the minutes that he's getting, he's not going to give you less than 35 as long as KPJ's out. I think when KPJ comes back, the assist totals probably go down a little bit. But I mean, if he's 5.5 assists again, I'm just gonna fire all my money right at it.
Yeah, we just can't have 35 at 87. That's the problem. He's 8,700.
Well, I just think that's a floor. I think it's a floor for him. I think 35 was a floor. I agree with you. It's a snowflake performance, but I think we can. I think he gets blocks and steals today against Gafford. That's basically where I'm at. So.
Okay.
But if you're not going him, then I mean, Şengün goes up against not Şengün. Claxton goes up against Embiid. Possibly don't really like that if Embiid's active. If he's not active, I like Claxton at 76. Turner against Orlando. I don't know how you're feeling there at $7,100. 37 fantasy points for him. You have Nurkic the other night finally got back on his horse. 27 minutes against San Antonio, 56 fantasy points. I don't know what was going on the games prior, but much better performance out of him here. So,
yeah, he was terrible in the first half. Rick Carlisle gave him no minutes. Then he played all his minutes in the second half, and they came back and won. It's so weird how that works. When you give the best player on the floor,
you give good guys good minutes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Miles Turner is a great play, and Nurkic stays out of foul trouble. You know, if you want to play him, stays out of foul trouble, he goes for 60. Why couldn't that have been the night before? You know, it's cool, dude. Thanks. Yeah.
Foul trouble for Walker Kessler. Played 22 minutes against Charlotte. They also had a blowout there, 13-9 though. No blocks or steals. 6K becoming too expensive for the Rook at this point.
It's just like, yeah, and you said the foul trouble, which he's been very good, much better at staying out of foul trouble, but they're just one day he plays minutes, one day he doesn't. One day Sexton plays minutes. That rotation, like outside of Markkanen, Conley, Clarkson, is a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Great price for Capella here. He played 36 minutes, so he was being priced down because he was only playing in the 20s.
Yep.
Plays 36. He's back to full run at 57. That's he's more of a mid 6K guy than a mid 5K guy. So
yeah, if a Congo sits again, he'll play that amount of.
Yeah, that's a good point. Congo did not play. He's questionable today with a hamstring injury, so I guess we'll watch the injury news on that one. Gafford against Houston, the other side of that one. He only played 19 minutes last night against Dallas. Fouled out. But gave you 23 fantasy points. He's fouled out in back-to-back games. So, Daniel Gafford experience here to an extreme.
He was so good.
Reasons why I like Şengün. Şengün is probably going to blunder to this guy. So
He's been so good staying out of foul trouble.
Yep.
He's been starting like a lot of games and wasn't getting in foul trouble. But
you know who's really good? Precious Achiuwa. I hope.
If he starts, he's
Yep. 4,500. Yeah, only 2 shots, but 10 free throw attempts against the Knicks. 11 rebounds back-to-back games. So, Brandon Clark, tournament dart throw at 44. Can go. And Zeke, Naiji, obviously, if there's no Jokic here.
Played 24 minutes with Jokic last night.
Yeah, no Porter, right? So they made the rotations.
Well, I'll caveat that by saying Aaron Gordon had 3 fouls in 8 minutes. So
okay.
They played NJ next to Jokic. David Tillman, 32.
Yeah, Pirtle played 16 minutes, but he's in foul trouble in that game. But Zach Collins, 3 straight games over 20 minutes. We know he's kind of a fantasy point per minute guy. So
Yep.
And then Tillman. Right, if Tillman starts again and he played 30 minutes, that's gonna be chalk. For sure. So
There's
build our lineups then. Where do you want to lock in? Who's the one guy? Deni?
Probably.
Deni at 4K?
Probably Deni, yeah. It's probably Deni.
Deni at 4K?
Probably Deni, and it's probably Tillman.
I
mean, he's 3,200, right? It's like
7K a player for everything but power forward and center.
That point guard tier was pretty good from like Lillard to I would play any of them. So I'd play Lillard, I'd play Kyrie, I'd play Harden.
Okay. Let's see here. Lillard is Utah. Let's go. Lillard's at home. Let's go Lillard against Utah. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, $6,500 for a player, shooting guard, small forward, util. Did we have another value that we liked on today's slate? We didn't mind Bojan at 49.
Bogdan.
Yeah, sorry, Bogdan. We didn't like Bogdan at 49. That wasn't bad. You mentioned obviously the Houston guys. Gordon is 46 here.
Yeah, I mean they're in play. They're in play. Kind of regard. We like McConnell at the guard spot probably.
Let's do Gordon at. Oh, we can do Let's do Gordon at small forward. He's 4,600. 7K a player again. You want to go McConnell?
Yeah, if he starts, it's lock and load.
7,300. I want to go with Sengun as our util.
Okay.
I like it there. 6,600 shooting guard and a forward. Which shooting guard do we want to go with here? Bain, Beal, Thompson, Jalen Green, Jordan Poole, Gary Trent.
Any of them.
Matherin.
I like Beal, or I like Bain. I like Matherin a lot.
Let's do Matherin at 54. Gives us a little bit more flexibility. Matherin shooting guard. We got a $7,800 forward. Scotty Barnes?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Damian Lillard, Ben Matherin, Eric Gordon, Deni Avdija, Xavier Tillman, TJ McConnell, Scotty Barnes, Alperen Sengun. $200 left over. That is your example lineup for today's stream. I'm on the playbook. I'll have that out later on this afternoon. Get us in the Discord, and we will be back for Thursday. Good luck. We'll talk to you guys later.